So there are some things, that men can wear, and there are some things that men shouldn't wear. So, same thing goes for ladies as well. But with men, there are certain things, we always hear it, especially when they are worn. And there are some things definitely that work, and you have to have the right body for it to work. When we think about skinny jeans, you need the right body for that, definitely. But it's the name itself, it's kind of self-evident, skinny jeans. I've never seen fatty jeans, even though that could be something you find in a doctor's blood report or something like that, a blood test. But no, it's skinny jeans. You have to be careful how you wear those things. Where and when and how, in which company. Skinny jeans. Yes, you can. I actually do have a pair, but I wear them at home, alone, when I know that no one's actually going to visit me or knock on the door. And if I do hear the doorbell ring, I'll quickly I'll put my head out the window and then see who's coming in, and then race to the nearest cloakroom in the house, of which we have 7 cloakrooms, and quickly whip off the skinny jeans and put on a pair of baggy corduroys or something. Hey, I'm just hanging out. I've got a pair of bell-bottoms. No. Not bell-bottoms or flares. What people are thinking about those days? It's interesting that the bell-bottom story, if you look at it, bell-bottoms were worn originally by sailors. I don't know exactly why, because it's not really very efficient running around with bell-bottoms at the end of your trousers. I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure there is. I haven't gone into that specifically. And even if there was, it has to be a pretty fucking good reason to wear those trousers. I'm sorry, because bell-bottoms, I don't get it. It's like thin at the top, and then fat at the bottom. So I don't really see what the benefit is of having these open trousers at the bottom. The benefit of that, back certainly in the British colonial days, or any kind of explorer days, the last thing you wanted, when you're wandering around in the jungles of Borneo or whatever, never been there before. The last thing that you want is a pair of bell-bottom trousers. The last thing. Because goodness knows what's going to climb up that leg. That's just kind of like screaming at any animal, like a snake or a spider or beetles or whatever. It's like, hey, look at this. There's a massive entrance here. Come on in and suck on this human's blood. This unwitting human here who's wearing a ridiculous pair of bell-bottom trousers, which is basically, an invitation to just come on in and, supper's up, dinner time. Those days of certainly those there, I remember wearing, for some very strange reason, because I went to a school that was a combination of learning, sport, and the military. It's called CCF, so the Combined Cadet Forces is the official name. That's the abbreviation. And there, at the age of, I think I was like 11, 12. You learn how to clean a gun, run around over mountains, talking to people over ancient Walkie Talkies. I think we used the ones that were kind of like first developed by Marconi. Back in the early days of radio, it felt like it. We had to carry these ridiculous units around, these batteries. People complain about, the big batteries, for the phone. We had to carry like a sack, just with a battery in it, and then these headsets, and talk to each other. Yes, I'm here on this side of the school playing field, and I can see you 50 meters away, can you see me? And you couldn't say that, no. It was like, here's Alpha, Foxtrot, Bravo, I don't know, well done. And do you read me? Yes, I read you, Alpha, Foxtrot, Bravo, whatever the fuck. Yes, this headset and this wireless device, this communication device, is working somehow after 180 years. Well done. How are you feeling, Bravo, Foxtrot, Echo, whatever. I'm feeling rather silly because I'm wearing this ridiculous sack full of, I don't know, some weighted ancient batteries, not even lithium. Again, I think it was created by Leonardo da Vinci or something like this. And what we also had to wear was puttees. And puttees are basically things. It's some kind of elongated rag, a green rag. It's around about, I think, like 1.5 meters long. It felt like then. It's probably much smaller than that. It's obviously damaged my psyche somewhere along the way. And we had to wrap them around at the bottom, just above the boots, which had to be shined, obviously cleaned, full metal jacket style. Clean your boots, soldier. Yeah. And above the boots, you had to wrap around. Yes. It was necessary as we were in CCF, and I chose to be in the army. There was obviously the Navy, the RAF, the Royal Air Force, and then there were the guys that said, no, because remember, it's still a private army in Britain. You don't have to go at the age of 17 or 18, like it is in Germany and Austria and some other countries as well. Where you have to do it. Like this compulsory service. Where you have to, I don't know, sit in a tank and poke your head out the window and I don't know, stand at a border and hope that that some guerrillas don't come over and poke you with sticks or whatever. It's a private army, so kind of trained. Ready just in case you want to actually have a professional job or a professional career in the army, which is how that kind of worked out for some people that I went to school with. That's the whole idea. But the whole putty thing, that you have to wrap these things around, developed again back in the colonial days, going to India or other areas that the British managed to make their way into. And you wrap them around at the bottom of your trousers there, of your horrible kind of camouflage trousers. And the whole idea was that it's to prevent the whole thing that I talked about. It's kind of the anti-bell-bottom thing, to prevent the whole snake up the trouser leg, spider up the trouser leg, hand up the trouser leg, depending on who was in the tent with you. On your expeditions, on your exercises. Sorry, exercises, not expeditions, exercises. Yes, so it kept all of those things out of your trousers at the bottom there. Whatever you want to, you could put it at the top of your trousers, but at the bottom, that was locked. So these putties kind of wrap around, and also it prevented, goodness knows what, gout or whatever. It was, again, it was a very ancient. It was definitely effective for a certain period of time. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been devised. They wouldn't have been used. They wouldn't have been mass-produced as they were for the army over a number of years. But basically, I had the feeling that the putties, because it's an Indian word, putty, I think, nothing to do with clay or whatever. It's putty, yes, it's like I had the feeling that the ones that I was wearing, I kind of sensed that they'd been worn by 7 or 8 people before over multiple generations. It's a little bit like like the water in London. Yeah, it's or other majestic. The water in Vienna it's fantastic. It's beautiful. It comes from the mountain, and the Romans came there and they channeled it down with the pipes, the aquifer coming down there from Rax and from Schneeberg. Yeah, it's kind of like glacial. This beautiful source of pure, clean water. And other cities have that as well. Other cities have excellent water quality, which is amazing. It's fantastic. But in London, they kind of say, if you drink a glass of water in London, I'm sure many people have been to London. First thing you should do is take the glass and just, when it comes out of the tap, just hold it up to a light, like a bright light. Just take a quick look. Yeah, take a quick look. Then drink it, and it's how should we say? Once you've tasted kind of like aquavita, like the water of life or pure water, and then you go back to that again, it's a bit of a shock to the system, certainly to the taste buds. And they say in London, when you drink a glass of water, you're already drinking something that's been through someone else or other people 7 times before. So you kind of hold the glass up to the light there and you take a look at it and you're like, wait a minute, I've seen you somewhere before. I recognize this color. Weren't you in me like 3 weeks ago? So anyway, the putty part here, the bell-bottoms, these are things that men definitely shouldn't wear, unless, of course, like I said, they're in the military. It's necessary, or if they're forced to wear them, even though, you are training in the middle of England, where there aren't any snakes or spiders or anything to climb up your trouser leg. Nevertheless, we had to wear them. That was part of the military regulations. Passed on down by the various commanders. One of them was my geography teacher. He was Colonel, I won't mention his name. Anyway, let's call him Colonel S. Yes, Colonel S by day, and geography teacher by night. Something like this. I think that's the way he thought about things. Anyway, it should have been the other way around. Like, teach us about geography, and then, live out your colonel dreams when you're at home, dude. Yeah, not, throughout the day. You didn't earn those stripes. So, anyway, yes, geography, I loved it. He wasn't the best geography teacher, the other ones I had were much better. Anyway, so come back to what should men wear and what shouldn't they wear? So there's a couple of things. You can kind of break them down into a couple of simple areas. Number 1, lederhosen. Lederhosen, definitely number 1. We'll come to that in a second. Number 2, LongJohns. And LongJohns, LongJohns are, we can start with that and then come back to lederhosen. Yeah? So LongJohns are, everyone's seen the cowboy films. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. Where are my LongJohns? No, it wasn't that one. Yeah. Long John Sally. No, nothing like that. LongJohns are the things that you see in those cowboy movies, which are fantastic. Kind of like the cowboy movies from the 50s or the 60s, or even the 70s before they became kind of not part of not really old-fashioned, but not really hip. Hey, you saw that cowboy movie last week? It was like in 1995. The cowboy movie? What's wrong with you? Yeah. But then, of course, Clint Eastwood and so on. He kept going. He's the man. He is the man. 60s, 70s, and then he still reinvented it again. 80s and 90s. All those. He kind of made it more hardcore and kind of come from a different angle. So fantastic. Yeah. So I'm not knocking cowboy movies at all here. I'm just saying, there was different ways that they were portrayed and different ways of filming them. Yeah, John Ford stuff, fantastic as well, beautiful landscapes and so on. But anyway, the long john thing, So the cowboys have long johns. So long johns are kind of like those long stockings that you wear under your trousers. Because cowboys, the original, looks cool. You've got these kind of leather chaps, for riding the horse, and the hat, and the button-up shirt, the neckerchief. It's kind of red spotted neckerchief. Sometimes it's kind of a little leather jacket, and of course the boots. The boots with the spurs. The whole get-up. It's awesome. It's fucking awesome. There's not many people that can pull it off. You can't just wander around into McDonald's, dressed as a cowboy. But I've seen some people. Yeah, I'm sure you have as well. But you think it's fancy dress. No, there are some serious people. There are some. I've been to some bars, and I'm not just in the States. I've been into some. Really kind of out of the way bars in the States, and it's fantastic that they do dress. They continue to dress in that way, and I think it's fantastic. No, I'm not knocking at all. It's fantastic. It's beautiful, because it's authentic. There's always that fine line between what's authentic and what looks like you just kind of forced on yourself because it looks kind of cool, or you think it looks cool. There's two different things, two completely different things, the one that's authentic because you can see, it just he or she, the cowgirl as well, just slips into it, and you can see it's slightly worn. It just works, and the whole aura is there, and a lot of the time, especially in certain places in the States and other places as well in the world, they've been working with cows in the day, or they've been riding or whatever. They've been doing something that kind of maps together with the clothing because it makes sense. That it's worn for a reason. Riding a horse, you wear the chaps and stuff like that, the hat to keep the sun out your eyes, whatever. It's practical. It's practical and cool together. It's kind of like this beautiful combination of practical. If there's such a word, practical. It's a combination of cowboy clothes and something that makes sense. Yeah. And then you have the people that are kind of wearing them in the week. They're 9 to 5. They've got their suit and tie on and they're pushing through figures. Boss, I hit my sales target this week. Wearing the suit and then the shiny shoes and doing the whole I'm down with the hip thing and like. They're doing the figures. Yeah, boss. So we made 1.4 mil. And next year we're gonna hit it out of the park. Hit it straight out of the park. Yeah. They go on do the dancing. They do the whole. They go out to the club and do the hip hop stuff and to try to kind of blend in and the hip hop stuff. They go out to the club. They dance to David Guetta. Look into my eyes, the old 4-step. But then when they come home, they can change a completely different person, and that's cool as well. It's great. They're a completely different person. Then they turn into the cowboy. So they put on the cowboy clothes. But the whole, and then they go out to do the whole square dancing and the line dancing, or the take your partner by the hand, kind of do-si-do and round you go, that kind of thing. No one did that at school? Square dancing? No? I definitely went to the wrong school. We had to do it with the boys as well, not just with... There was no girls, it was a boys' school. Yeah, so... Take your partner by the hand, do-si-do. Walk to the left now, walk to the right now. And... Yeah, okay. It's like those auctioneers as well. Those guys that selling the bulls and the other cattle. So those are real. Yeah. So the other guys there, they put on the like the cowboy outfit, and you can see it's kind of forced. That's what I mean. They go and do the square dancing thing, and the hat. It's so pristine. It's so clean, and everything's so pressed, and the chaps. The leather trousers and the shirt, it's all so perfect, which it does look like in the films as well. It does look like, because obviously they've just walked out of wardrobe. Okay, guys, and action. and they just have like 20-second scene where they sit on a horse, which they can't really ride, and then go back to the caravan or go back to the place where they put on their cowboy uniform, and then get put on beach shorts again afterwards. I don't know what those guys did back in the. So yeah, it just kind of like forced and fake. The auctioneers, I forgot about that one. Yeah, so those auctioneers, so the cowboy guys, the auctioneers, 50, the one, 200, 200, 300, 400, 700, 500, 300, I'm taking up 2, and I'm on 5, and I'm on 7, and I'm on, and the band back there, the bull inside down, the bull to the horn, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, I got a 7 and 9, 7 and 9, 7 and 9, 7 and 9, I got 9 and 9, 9 and 9, 9 and 9, 9 and 9, oh, I got a 10, I got a 10. 10 and 9, 10 and 9, would I lie to you, baby, would I lie to you? Oh no, looking in my eyes that you see I'm open wide, would I lie to you, would I lie to you? Oh baby, it's kind of like this. I don't know if you've seen these things. It's nuts, completely nuts. How these guys get to this. They get to the David Guetta level. And he went to the auctions, but this is like nuts. I just found it by mistake on YouTube, of course. Where else? But I found it there. These guys, crazy. It's competitions, and it's not really competitions of auctioneer, who can find the bidder and respond to the bidder as quickly as possible, and find the right number. I'm like, this is like who can talk the fastest without anybody fucking understanding what they're saying. And if you're sitting in any of those auctions, just don't move a muscle. Don't even blink. There's the 5 in the 6, there's the 7, and the 9, and there's got a 9 in the corner there. You're just picking your nose. Like, there's 10 in the corner there. Oh shit. Your phone rings. You pick 11 in the corner. 11 in the corner. 11 in the corner. Oh, scratch your head. 12 in the corner. And the worst thing is you go to those auctions, I don't know, you've been bitten by 20 mosquitoes the night before. You're fucked, basically. He's like scratching. He's got 10 of them, 12 of them. Oh, it's a mosquito. It's a mosquito. They get a million there, and a million in the corner. That mosquito. It's like I've got mosquito bites. Mosquito bites. So those things you have to watch out for. I think the best thing of those auctions is to basically just go in some kind of a straight jacket. I think that's the best thing. Get in there, just lock your hands in there, put an enormous hat on that just basically goes way down under your nose. No, not even your lips, because if you just twitch your lips just for a second, 12 and something where you can't see any kind of body movement whatsoever. So you just can't move. You're just kind of like frozen. You're coming in an ice block, just like trapped in there like this. Yeah. We've got a mummy in the corner there. Yeah. That's the safest way. Then you don't walk out bankrupt. That's the way it works. So with those things and the LongJohns. What you wear under there. And again, if you've seen those films, where they're the cowboys in the evening, because you've got the chaps looking cool, looking very nice. These leather trousers, excellent. The boots, fantastic. And you've got the shirt, the naked. You're looking cool. But when they take them all off, what's underneath are LongJohns. And you've seen the films, yeah. They've got these kind of like shirts, these kind of like sweat shirts or something like this, and the LongJohns, these kind of, because they keep you warm at night. They dance around and they sit by the campfire and they eat beans, and everyone knows what the beans do. And the LongJohns keep everything together. But the point is that they look ridiculous, and some men can pull them off. It's kind of like leggings, same thing. Men and women, some people they can pull it off. They can pull it off straight away, and many people can't. So wearing LongJohns, like wearing stockings or leggings, either you can do it or you can't. So in some cases, I would recommend don't, or another word, never wear them. You can even not even in bed. No, not even in bed. I'm sorry. No. Again, back to the military days. I've been in tents. We had these tents that were definitely made. I would say in the Boer War, kind of 18 whatever. The canvas smell, this horrible canvas smell, and I'm sure that there'd been, I don't know, generations had slept in these on the floor, like again canvas. There's this very strong canvas smell, and there were young, we were boys, like 12, 14. And whatever it was, I don't know, for some reason, I think that their mothers or their fathers, I guess, had said, "Son, you're going to go on your first military exercise, your camp for 4 days, where you'll run around with a compass in your hand and basically come home again and wonder what the fuck you've been doing." Yes, anyway, you're going to go on this, and there's something I've been meaning to tell you for years. Something I've been waiting, like a family heirloom. And the father goes to the cupboard and opens up the cupboard door. And right at the back there, there's like a secret kind of compartment. Pops it open now. And he pulls out this pair of... Yeah, well, it's kind of... you can't really see it yet. It's like a little package, like all packaged up nicely. And he gives it to the son. He says, "Son, these were worn by my father, by my father's father, by my father's father's father, and many other ancestors that I haven't looked up in our family tree recently. And here we are. I now bequeath these to you. They are the family LongJohns." No one knows what the fuck LongJohns are. I didn't have any, by the way. Just a disclaimer here. No. Not that my father or mother, didn't know about LongJohns. My father walked a lot. He still walks a lot. Hikes, runs, cycles, everything. Yeah. And I think he just knew that LongJohns just make no sense at all. So we didn't go through this whole ritual, the whole Long John transfer ritual. No, because he was like, he just knew it. He was like, "Son, just put on your trousers, a dry pair of socks, don't forget your putties, a good jacket, some Kendall mint cake, very important, and off you go. That's all you need. Yeah, that's all you need in the wilderness. Go, go, go." But anyway, so these fathers bequeathed or passed on these LongJohns to their sons, and the sons, of course, that I spent the nights in this tent with. There was like 12, 14, sometimes like 18 people in there. So I didn't even know some of these people anyway. Yeah, some people crept in the middle of the night. Goodness knows. Anyway, they were wearing these LongJohns, and there was a few of them who never took them off. They never took them off. They wore them every day. We were there. It was like 5 or 6 days. Like run up a mountain, run down a mountain. Look at a compass. Find your bearings, look for a bottle of water, jump over some stream, walk through a hedge or something like this, and then come back. And they wore them for like 5 days. I think the father kind of forgot to tell them, "Son, you can take them off. You can. It's fine." And I think they had kind of thought, this is like the family heirloom, and they must wear it forever, until they're a father. They have to pass the LongJohns down again. And, good grief, on day 5, let's just say it was a little bit foggy. Even in those tents, which were extremely well ventilated, there was holes everywhere, it was still kind of rich. You would come there in the morning and it was kind of like walking into fishmongers or something like this. Anyway, so and wearing LongJohns, it's the skinny jeans kind of thing. Either they look good or they don't, but most people, just can't pull that shit off. It's like, and I've never seen anyone wearing them since. I'm sure that they're still on vogue. But again, don't even wear them in bed. If your wife or your girlfriend sees you wearing LongJohns, guys, you are screwed. She will never see you in the same light ever again. It's like. stamped on her memory. Oh, he wears long johns. Oh, hideous. Oh, hideous. Oh, I saw him last night. He was wearing these horrible stocking-like things. Oh, and the smell. Oh, good grief. No, not a good idea. Assless. Like assless chaps, assless chaps the cowboys wear, like without the bottom part at the back there. You can wear those. Don't do that with long johns. Ever. Yeah, so long johns, practical to some extent. But again, coming back to the skinny jeans and bell bottoms. So it's hard to check the facts on who actually designed bell bottoms. If you go back through the years and you see the sailors, all those sailor pictures, you often see sailors going out to sea. They've got the sailor's hat on, which is very practical. Out at sea, you can get sunburned, you can get seagulls shitting on your head and these kinds of things. So yes, a hat is useful. But the bell-bottom thing, I don't know, I still didn't get into that, because if you... I've never worn bell-bottoms, Bell-bottoms are basically early versions of flares. It's exactly the same thing. Again, I'm sure that there's some logical reason why sailors wore bell-bottoms, and if there's any sailors here tonight, they'll probably accost me at the door and tell me exactly why. But, yeah... From a practical perspective, I mean, if you run with bell bottoms, it's kind of like the bottom half, they flaps together, you can trip, man, quick, there's a lifeboat, man the lifeboat, running with a bell bottom, it's just not very practical. Getting to the lifeboat, in bell bottoms, and then you're in the lifeboat, and if you're not wearing bell bottoms, they kick you out, I suppose, part of the crew. It's really not practical, and flares, at the top there, and then kind of flares out at the bottom. Big trousers, giant trousers, those are the ones. And in the 20s, I think it was like 20s, like the 1920s, it was kind of like this big trouser era in the 20s, and I think through the 30s, I don't know. But I remember seeing pictures of people wearing these huge trousers, like really big trousers that kind of start at the hip, go out over the knee, straight down to the top of your prehensile toe there. Huge trousers, really, like enormous trousers. Things that you could keep things in there, like a roast chicken, or you could play not just pocket billiards in there, but you can also basically mess around, pull out all kinds of things, like you could do origami with your left hand. A goose. So these huge trousers were definitely incredibly practical, a bit airy, but very practical. Far more practical than bell bottoms. And then of course we come on to lederhosen. So again, if you've got the physique for lederhosen, well done, because it's some people can pull it off. If you've got this kind of big strong legs, that kind of helps. If you've got like little chicken legs, it doesn't really work. If you've got little chicken legs with skinny jeans, kind of, but still little chicken legs. It doesn't really work in the whole lederhosen outfit. You've got the braces, and the hat. And the socks and the boots, and you can pull it off. But if you don't really have that kind of particular, not only the physique but also the absolute confidence to pull it off in lederhosen, it's kind of a risky thing to wear on a daily basis. And many people don't. Obviously, it was practical back in the days, but now it's more traditional. Once, twice a year, you put it on and, slap your bum and, slap your inner thighs and, put a sausage in your pocket or something like that. I don't know. And it's very expensive as well. So these are the kind of clothes, it's tricky to kind of pull those things off. As a man, ladies can pull anything off. Yeah, come on. Yeah, of course, come on. The dandle. Yeah, it's, that works in each and every case. But lederhosen and men, that's kind of tricky.